Mae Hague cut a casual figure as she was seen for the first time since apologizing for her tone-deaf comments on wealth inequality which went viral last week. The former Love Island star, 22, opted for a laid-back look as she left a hairdresser's in Wilmslow, Cheshire on Tuesday. The influencer wrapped up for the outing in a dark grey coat which she wore with a pair of black leggings. Also sporting a black top and a matching scarf, Mae donned a pair of white trainers. Letting her blonde locks fall loose down her shoulders, she completed her look with a black handbag. The star was seen getting her highlights done in the salon. It comes after Mae posted a statement on Monday afternoon insisting she only wanted to inspire her fans with her success story. An interview, which was first shared on YouTube on December 13, went viral on Wednesday when it was shared on Twitter, and sparked outrage from fans after Mae insisted she had worked her **** off for her success. Mae issued an apology on Monday via her Instagram account, which boasts 6.2 million followers. She wrote, "I wanted to come back online today as normal, but I feel like before I do I just wanted to say this. When I say or post anything online, it is never with malice or ill intent. I completely appreciate that things can affect different people in different ways. However, I just want to stress that I would never intend to hurt or upset anyone by anything that I say or do." She added, "I apologize to the people that have been affected negatively or misunderstood the meaning of what I said in the podcast. The intentions of the podcast were only ever to tell my story and inspire from my own experience. Love to you all, always X." An interview, which was first shared on YouTube on December 13, went viral on Wednesday when it was shared on Twitter. In the clip, Molly, who last year was named the creative director of clothing brand Pretty Little Thing, a title with a 7-figure salary, said, "You're given one life and it's down to you what you do with it. You can literally go in any direction." When I've spoken about that in the past, I have been slammed a little bit, with people saying it's easy for you to say that because you've not grown up in poverty, so for you to sit there and say we all have the same 24 hours in a day is not correct. But, technically, what I'm saying is correct. We do. She went on, "I understand we all have different backgrounds and we're all raised in different ways and we do have different financial situations. But I think if you want something enough you can achieve it. It just depends on what lengths you want to go to get where you want to be in the future. And I'll go to any length." She then added, "I've worked my absolute **** off to get where I am now." Molly's subscribers took to the comment section of her latest YouTube video last week to share their opinion of the backlash the influencer has faced, with some choosing to hit the unsubscribe button. Taking to the comment section, one wrote, "You have done really well for yourself, but undoubtedly saying that we all have the same 24 hours came across awfully because we really don't. Privilege is so real in today's world. Some people work ridiculously hard but have barriers to success such as family background, racism, etc." While another follower added, "Molly, I've supported you through and through since Love Island, but I'm so hurt by what said in the podcast. I can comprehend that perhaps you don't mean it in the way it came across, but the point being is that it came across in a really terrible way. Unsubscribing. What reflection on how our society awards idiots. Meanwhile, many of those who make a meaningful contribution struggle, typed a third. A fourth subscriber chimed, completely out of touch and deluded. It's embarrassing to listen to her speak on the matter because she just consistently exposes how sheltered and ignorant she is. A spokesman for the Star told Mail Online last week that Molly acknowledges that people are raised in different ways and from different backgrounds and that she never meant to offend. A statement read, Molly did a podcast interview in December about her own rise to success. If you listen to the full conversation and interview, Molly was asked about how the nature of her potential grows and how she believes in herself. This part of the interview was discussing time efficiency relating to success. Molly refers to a quote which says we all have the same 24 hours in a day as Beyoncé. She was discussing her own experience and how she can resonate with this specific quote. Her opinion on if you want something enough you can work hard to achieve it is how she keeps determined with her own work to achieve more in her own life. Molly is not commenting on anyone else's life or personal situation. She can only speak of her own experience. She acknowledges that everyone is raised in different ways and from different backgrounds, but her comments here are in reference to timing, hard work and determination in her own life. If you listen to this interview you can see the whole conversation was about her own personal circumstances, how she has grown up, and this small clip in the conversation was talking about a quote that inspires her. Social media users have shared a short snippet from this interview with words such as if you are homeless buy a house and if you are poor be poor. These are absolutely not Molly's words. These are not Molly's thoughts, and this isn't at all the meaning or thought behind that conversation. Dragon's Den star Stephen Bartlett defended Molly Mae Hague after she was crucified over her controversial comments. Entrepreneur Stephen, 29, who interviewed Molly for the podcast, waded into the debate, suggesting the backlash was a result of sexism as he called out the double standard that successful women face from critics. Taking to Twitter on Friday he wrote, Molly Mae did an interview on my podcast. Yesterday a soundbite from that interview went viral. She trended #1 on Twitter. Every newspaper covered it and MPs weighed in. I've had male guests say what she said. No one cared. But when Molly says it, she's crucified. Crazy. He continued, I have become aware of the double standard that successful women face. If I interview a man he can brag about money, take full credit for his success and talk about his cars. If I interview a successful woman, she's got to tiptoe around her success and watch her words. Stephen, who recently replaced Tej Lalvani on Dragon's Den, then added, gender issues aside, the standard we hold Molly Mae to as a 22-year-old that's figuring out the world is absolutely outrageous. She once said she didn't like Italian food. It trended #1 all day. was written about in every newspaper and she had to issue a public apology. 22. The reality star has also found an ally in the form of small business MP Paul Scully. The Conservative minister, 53, waded into the row on Friday, stating an aspirational approach to life is no bad thing. Asked if her comments were fair, Paul told LBC, "I think it is, but I think you've got to define success, because some of the comments that I was hearing in the lead up to my piece on this was about money, but success doesn't necessarily equal money. It can be, furthering your job, whether it's in public service or whatever. And I think an aspirational approach to life is no bad thing. What we've got to make sure, though, is that opportunity is equally distributed around the country. And that's why the leveling up agenda that we often talk about in government is so important, to make sure that those 24 hours can be matched by the opportunities by education and business across the country." Mollymar's father Stephen also spoke out in her defense, sharing a lengthy post in which he reflected on the storm surrounding his daughter and also the backlash faced by fellow influencer Elle Darby, who lost more than 100,000 followers and was dropped by her management after racist tweets she sent as a teenager emerged. In his post, Stephen stated, "It must be tough for the media stars, influencers and public figures, especially the younger ones who are still learning the emotional rollercoaster of life. It hurts me to see people literally driven to death by cruel comments of people who don't know the individuals and hide behind a keyboard, often on fake accounts, cancelling someone for something 5, 6, 7 or 10 years ago, when a child is profoundly naive and shows a real lack of emotional intelligence." He added, "Then attacking people for a sentence made as part of an interview taken out of context I wouldn't mind, but the CEO of Netflix appeared on a podcast called The Same 24 Hours, on which many well-respected business leaders have appeared, not attacked or cancelled. I think the context of Molly's words fit better with the title of that podcast, We All Have the Same 24 Hours in Every Day. But it's how we use those 24 hours that makes the difference in our health, happiness and success. But what do I know?